戻したはずなのに気の流れが乱れているわ。嫌な予感がする。
What's up, Albie? Hello. How you doing? Yeah, I'm home early, in case you're wondering. Home early. But no, I was over there since like 3 o'clock. Needed to come home. They really need to optimize these load times. It's insane how long it takes it to load like one room. It takes it like a fiscal year to load one room. It's really weird. It's like really hard for this game to load a room with 3 characters in it. Like this big ordeal. They make games you want to play, but man, they can't optimize. Their lives dependent on it. Quite the conundrum. I don't think they will ever fix this port. I would be shocked if they do. Highly unlikely. I don't know, they did promise to fix it, but given that this port has the same problems as Stranger Paradise, which is on the same engine, and they never fixed that game, I don't have high hopes. The only hope I have is that they didn't fix it on that game, because that game was pretty much the only action RPG that they've done outside of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 that was not self-published. So, if they want to patch it, they can. That's like the only hope I have, pretty much. I got no hope otherwise. I got a decent enough computer to play this at least. It loads like this on PS5 too, by the way. PS5 version takes just about as much time to load. It's like we never evolved from the PS1. Load times are just dreadful. Whether you like this game or not it's gonna depend from person to person. It's definitely not for everybody, especially people that really like the previous 2 games, but optimization performance-wise, this game is so much worse than Neo 2. Stranger Paradise was just as bad as well. I feel like they just forgot how to make a game that works. I don't know, that's what you sign up for when you play a Team Ninja game, though, is... It's gonna look, you know, like 5+ years out of date. I mean, depending on the game, it's gonna run like shit. Most of the time it does. The story is nonsensical. The only thing that's good is the gameplay. So, if you're a gameplay-oriented person and you can put up with long loads like this and bad ports, you can get hundreds of hours out of these games easy. I've done it. But not everybody has that level of patience. Some people want more of a focus on story. They want it to actually run like how it looks. You know, this game looks like it should run on like a decade-old computer, but it doesn't. I totally get the criticism is more than fair. Actually, this was, like, ranked one of the worst PC ports this year. Yeah, that's the award, only award they're getting. Worst PC port. I think it's between this and Jedi Survivor. Worst PC ports. What a prestigious title to have. They're gonna duke it out at the Game Awards. Who's got the worst PC port? They're gonna have an arm wrestling match. Wo Long versus Jedi Survivor. Ultimate battle, ultimate destiny. It's coming, get ready. how next year's going to be for PC ports. Is it just going to get worse? They always say things get worse before they get better. What do I have in store as a PC gamer for 2024? Is it going to be as bad as this year? I don't know what to expect. It's going to be hard to top this year for PC gamers suffering, for sure. I would hope that they won't release games in the state that they did this year. This year was just really bad. I lucked out. It was mostly just this was like the only real bad thing that I bought. And I managed to mostly fix the problem myself. Just shouldn't have to. It's a full price $60 game. I shouldn't have to work so hard to get something I paid for to work, especially when I have a good computer. But I don't know. It's anyone's guess. You can't expect nice things as a PC gamer anymore, apparently, no matter how much money you spend on your rig. Come on, load! Jeez Louise, the load times in this game. They're really testing your patience. Just to load this room. It took like a minute. Like a full minute. It took longer to load than finish the map. It's like when you one-shot Mega Man X bosses and the explosion is longer than the boss fight. Their health bar filling up and the explosion is longer than the boss fight. That's pretty much what this is. Load, please. This is the epitome of pushing the button doesn't make the game load faster, but the gamer instincts tell you it does something. No, it doesn't do anything. I guess that's it. Fortunately, that person lives in another country, so... Can I find somebody that lives here that can do it? I need somebody here that can do it. Oh, man. I wanted to go for a long grind. It's only a couple minutes. It's not enough. I need more... There's no one here in America that's doing this, I guess. I was hoping I'd get somebody that could stay longer. I'm glad for the help, but I was hoping I could get longer amount of help, not just 20 minutes. That sucks, man. That was going good too. You can't just join a room with somebody that's doing it. Alright, well, I guess I'll do some crypto mining then. I don't think anyone else is gonna help me. I wish you could just make a room and have people join, but it doesn't work that way. They leave after. Like, I really need just a little bit more help to get this game going. Did it save my time in there? It fucking didn't. What the hell, man? Why doesn't it save it? It didn't even fucking save that I went that far. What the hell, man? So it's basically useless to do co-op in here. Unless people can stick around for a long period of time. They're only going to be there for a few minutes. It's not worth it. Oh. Would have been nice to find that out another way. That's alright. I think I can upgrade my my Cestus now, so it's all good. Better to find out that way than to have that person stick around and then I leave and then it doesn't save. That's pretty dumb, honestly. The co-op for the roguelike mode is like really hidden away. You can't set it up as easily. Alright, so let me see which one I was gonna work on. Let's go to Cestus. There's one like really good one in here. Yeah, this one. I want to change the martial arts and upgrade it. So, let's see here. Yeah, the up kick. I don't care for the counter. Tetsuzanko. Alright. Let's see, what's the best way to go about this? Might just do some solo grinding tonight, just to chill, not mauled. Alright. Let's go to Cestus here. Let's see, what's the best 7-star that I've got? Spirit damage bonus stone attack. Yeah, I'm not expecting stone. This one's got a lot I would need to replace because I really need that up kick. The up kick is really good on human enemies that don't have hyper armor, so a decent chunk of them actually. It's a surprising lack of hyper armor on human enemies. It's mostly just like the ones that are like playable officers and Dynasty Warriors games tend to have it. So it'd take 10 to replace one of these. I'm thinking I'm good with everything else this has, actually. Yeah, we'll get rid of that one. You gotta run back up here to do it, I guess. That sucks. I really wanted that guy to stick around. Every time I get help on this game, it's somebody that lives somewhere else, and they're like 10 hours ahead. You stick around longer. Apparently it's like 7 AM for him, though, so can't blame him. Alright. So we can upgrade that at least. I can't get another one of those either. Pretty bunk luck today, but this should be some pretty significant progress, I think. Upgrade. I'll replace first.
仕事しすぎも考えもんだね。
It's just a straight upgrade from what I already had. Yeah, this one. Yeah, I don't have that either, huh? The Stomp is really good, as it's like AoE, and it does pretty good spirit damage. I'm not sure if I want to do this right now. Not quite sure. I got the Rider Kick thing. I got that. That one's really good. Let me see what else I've got here, actually. I'm conflicted right now. I would need like a lot more of these, and I'm just like not able to get any help, so I think I'll just go with this one actually. I'll just roll with it. I'll get used to it. Got to adapt. Alright. So now I got my old combo back. And I have some different stuff to work with as well. Other moves weren't really that great. I'll live with it. Yeah, I'll put that on. I had to swap these, so it's what I'm used to. Alright, I think we're good with that now. Can't upgrade it yet. I think I'm gonna start putting luck on my items, because if I'm gonna be stuck doing crypto mining, I should probably put luck on. Luck. Is that like a red one? Can you not put luck on this? I don't even see it in the pool here. This one's just a stat stick, so maybe I can put luck on this, maybe? Or does luck not fit on weapons? Let's just do that. Alright. I'm going to assume you can put it on here. Luck. I don't know where the luck stat is. It's like not here. So I'll just go for morale. Since that's the only thing that matters in this game is morale. Actually, this piece is pretty crappy. Let me see if I got a better one. See if anything dropped. Probably not. Knowing this game. Have the same Grayson here on a better piece. Oh, I do. Ah. Alright, well that's a pretty big bonus. Well, that's something that dropped today. I don't know when I got that. It must have been some point today. I played a little bit offline today. Let's see, do I have Zhu Rong as well? Because I think that might be really good with my build. Yeah, this would be pretty good for how my character is set up. So I got one piece of that. Fortunately, it's a 3-star weight. Could probably make it work, maybe. That might be like my next big progression. I've got this, but it's a 5-star, so 2. 3. Oh, 4. I might just go for that instead. Let's see if I got pieces in here, maybe. Yeah, I don't have it on ranged pieces, so. Do I have a Zhu Rong fists? Let's just sort by rarity, 'cause it's only going to be the good ones. Could just use a stat stick for now. Yeah, I have this one. So that'd be 5 pieces and then a set bonus mitigation. What exactly does it do again? Yeah, because my guy has the highest stat in fire. Deals an equal amount of flame damage in addition to the elemental damage dealt when using element-imbued melee weapons. It also increases spirit damage inflicted on enemies that are afflicted with burns. It's tempting. I should go set this as a set before I fuck around with things, though. I kind of would prefer it if it was on a weapon I actually want to use, but you can't be picky in this game. It doesn't drop things that often. Things you want, anyway. Ideally, I'd want a 7-star anyway, because it has 2 premium slots, which is, like, a pretty massive difference. Yeah, this one. Got 2 of the same thing. I could re-roll this one as well. Let me go ahead and set this as a set. A preset. And then I think I will try it out. I think I have enough stuff to do it right now. It might be better than what I'm doing. Battle set. Alright. So I can get that back if I need it. Let me check storage, actually. I might have enough pieces already. I made sure to not get rid of anything that looked really good. Sorting in this game sucks. It's like way worse than Nioh 2, because you could actually filter things by the specific thing that they had on them. In this game, you can't do that for some reason. The gameplay is a step back, yes, but I think the polish is the worst step back. Why can't I just filter this out? You had that in literally the last 2 games you made like this. Same thing, difficult melee combat games with cool loot. Like, why is it gone? Make no damn sense, man. Should be moving forward instead of 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Honestly, now that the combat in this game is a lot better, I feel that the lack of polish and quality of life is worse. They should be able to just sort, but you can't. Additional features, that's all you can do. I don't think I have any more pieces in here. I think I actually kept them all in my inventory. I got this one. Transfer that one to inventory. Might just have to roll with a 5-star for now. Yeah, this lack of polish is just nuts. Why do I have to go to this one NPC to even access the storehouse? And why can't I just filter and look for the exact thing that you want? You can't do that. You gotta go through it one by one, so... Heaven help you if you can't read fast. This game discriminates. Alright. So as long as I have this stuff locked, it'll always be in there. It won't go away. 1, 2... I only got a 5-star for that slot. Got a 6-star for this slot. Alright. 5. And I had a set bonus mitigation in here somewhere. Hey, what's up, Six String? How you doing, man? You're old school. I remember seeing you around ages ago. How you doing, brother? You on this game too? Oh damn, I'm overweight. Ah, fuck. That's not good. That's not kosher. I don't have another piece of this that's lighter. Yeah, Last to Load is like a freaking cyborg, man. He's like way too good at these games. No, don't compare me to him. I'm better than him at other games, yes. Stuff he doesn't play. The stuff he doesn't play, yes, I am better. At this game, no. No contest. See, because he never stopped playing this game. I did. I hated this game at launch. I was not a Wolong enjoyer at launch. Not by a long shot. I hopped off this game because I knew it would get better later. It wasn't worth. It wasn't worth playing the way it was. Yeah, the thing about Team Ninja games is it's not worth playing at launch if you don't like the game. It's better to just wait. Just wait. You got another game in your backlog, right? Just play that instead. Don't bother. They listen to feedback. They do listen to feedback a lot better than other companies do, so if you're not feeling it at launch, there's no reason to stick around. That's just how their games are. This game just has abysmal polish. They've made the combat a lot better. The gameplay is like a lot better, but the polish is still pretty embarrassingly bad. They got a lot of work to do for sure. But at least the game is worth playing now. I think that's got to amount to something. I don't know about that. Generally with Team Ninja action RPGs, the second DLC is like the best. The third one kind of just tops everything off, but it's like not... It's not the best. Now, for Neo 2, the third DLC was the best, yes, because it had... For Neo 2, it was the best, yes, because it had, what's it called? The Abyss, which was like a really sick online roguelike mode that you could play. For Stranger of Paradise, it was by a landslide. It was the second DLC was the best by far. The third one just kind of was mostly just ended the story. It gave you like the true ending and everything. So if you cared about the story, it was nice. But gameplay-wise, Stranger of Paradise was really only had one good DLC pack. The season pass for that game was kind of divisive for a lot of people, I think. Heavily carried by like one piece of DLC. The first DLC for Stranger of Paradise added like barely anything. Stranger of Paradise sucks on the first playthrough. That's really all I can say about it. Stranger of Paradise really sucks on the first playthrough. I think that game has the worst first playthrough out of any of the Team Ninja action RPGs because of the power level mechanic. Basically just makes it so you're forced to just put stuff on that increases the power level. It's the only thing that matters. It's very limiting, super limiting. You could tell that they didn't think about the new player experience in that game at all. They totally didn't care. It's laughable how bad it is. And if you stick with the game, it's definitely fun. It's an enjoyable game for sure. You just have to be willing to stick with it. Because those guys did not care about anything involving a good new player experience. It's either you stick with that game or you like it, or you drop off it. The power level mechanic is just dumb. It really removes any kind of decision making from your first playthrough. Because the power level mechanic prevents you from doing stuff like this game. You can beat this game at like level 1. It's hard. But the game is like balanced in a way that you can do it, right? In Stranger of Paradise you cannot do that. Stranger in Paradise, you have to make the number go up, otherwise you do no damage at all. You're a complete wet noodle. I think they were trying to, like, make it lean more into the RPG side. Yeah, and it's fun to make busted builds in that game. It really is, but you can't do that until you beat the game at least once, so... There's no semblance of a build. No semblance of a build on the first playthrough. You just make the number go up, and it's very boring in one note. But the builds in that game are really fun, so if you like the RPG aspect of these games, where you get like Diablo-style loot... No, the difference with Neo 2 is that you could put on crap weapons and you could still beat it, right? If you're below the power level, if you're 5 below the power level, you get like one shot, and your soul shield breaks like instantly. So it's basically impossible. I mean, I guess you could do it, but it's just going to be so aggravating. You have to get the power level to a certain point. I found it to be very frustrating and annoying. It just wasn't fun. And once you start getting into the builds of that game, you get into the roguelike mode, that game is super fun. Especially if you have somebody to squad up with. It's a very enjoyable game. You just gotta have way more patience than what should be necessary. The amount of patience you need with that game feels like a relationship. They want a lot out of you. Like, why don't you, like, relax the whole power mechanic thing, the power level mechanic on the first playthrough, so people can, like, actually try out stuff and see what they want to spec in if they decide to keep playing the game instead of just... No, nothing matters. As long as the number goes up, you're good. And if you don't have something that makes the number go up on a piece of equipment or weapon that you like, well, you're shit out of luck. There's nothing you can do. Helpless. Yeah, this game's first playthrough after the patches was fine. It was a lot more enjoyable than Stranger of Paradise for sure. First playthrough is like no contest. Well, the thing about this game at launch was that it had no depth whatsoever. That was the problem. There was only one way to play this game. There's only one way to play it. That's just what was boring about this game was you had long-ass delays on all your R1s. The startup and the recovery was so long that most of the time the AI just input reads and kills you. It wasn't fun. The combat pretty much devolved into just... You, how do I explain this? You parried until you had full spirit, and then you did a spirit attack, and then you pushed triangle, and that was all there was to the game. There wasn't anything else that you could do at all. It's completely one-dimensional. But now you can actually... You have 6 martial arts now. The startup, the recovery, and the damage of them has been buffed, so you can play the game more like Nioh 2. You can actually use, like, different moves for different things, instead of just being shoehorned into one playstyle. Alright, I think we're almost done making love to this menu. Close. Close to being done. But I don't wanna look at this for a while. Be sticking with this for a while. Kinda going for luck and efficiency right now. Because some of these pieces are pretty shitty. But I have the resources to do this. I have resources to do this another, like, 3 times. There's no reason not to. These don't really have premium slots right now, but it'll do. Let's see here. Anything else optimal I could put on this? Well, the games all play differently. I mean, on the surface, they look very similar, you know. You play a guy that fights difficult enemies, and you get loot, and you get more powerful, and you have, like, ways to customize your character and everything. Like, those things are similar, but like everything else about the game is these games is completely different. Neo 2 is more about doing stance switching and key pulses, learning how to break their key, and using low stance to dodge attacks. Because that game is more about invincibility frames than this is. This game isn't about invincibility frames. It's also not about like really responsive gameplay either. It's got a lot of animation lock by design, which I actually don't like about this game, but they play completely differently. You can't approach the games the same way. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you try to play these games the same way as that. It just doesn't work. They look like clones on the surface, but they play completely differently. It's actually insane how different they are. Stranger of Paradise is kind of similar to this game in that you have the way it works in Stranger is you have the Soul Shield, which has no timing, but you have a guard meter, so you can't just stand there and push it. But if you parry, you don't have that problem. The thing I didn't like about Stranger of Paradise was the forced phase changes. I wasn't really a fan of. I thought that stuff was pretty lame. The forced phase changes made it so you effectively couldn't one-shot the bosses like they could to you. The other problem with Stranger in Paradise was you had to watch the phase transition animation every single time. I think it would have been better if they just removed the phase changing and just made it happen naturally instead of having to watch a QTE. When you play the game for like almost 200 hours like I did, you get really tired of it. You get sick of seeing those animations. I think this game manages it a lot better, in my opinion. Canned animations is pretty much just the QTE, the Fatal Strike, and that's it. It's not watching like a 30-second animation every single time you kill something. It's cool the first couple times, because Jack is like he's a very strangely brutal video game protagonist. He's like not much below Kratos in terms of how brutal and violent he is. So it's cool to see him like choke slam the boss down and stomp on their head and stuff. But after you've seen it like 300 times, you like, all right, I get it, man. You're edgy. Can I skip this and keep playing? I think those are the two worst things about that game: is the forced phase transitions and then the power level mechanic. Just having such a strong grip on how you play the game. Other than that, it's very enjoyable. You just gotta stick around until you get to New Game Plus. You get to the second New Game Plus, and you get the Rift. The Rift is like super fun, very enjoyable. I had a lot of fun with that. If that game wasn't freaking 90 gigs, I probably would go back to it again. That game is like 95 gigs for some reason. This game has just as much content, if not more, and it's like half the size, which is just insane to me. Yeah, fighting games really started going for spectator first, player third. They really wanted to look good for people that are watching online, the stream monsters, but then like the people actually playing get really tired of that shit, right? It gets old fast.
私はもう
Used to switching like this. I completely just changed my build. I gotta bear with me a little bit here. I completely changed my build. I gotta get used to it. What do I have on the second slot? Because I kind of changed this. Tetsuzanko. This move, which looks cool but does crap damage. And then the up kick, backflip. That's what I got now. Okay. I gotta change my muscle memory like entirely, so it's gonna take a little time to get used to it. Yeah, that's what I liked about Battle for the Grid. Battle for the Grid was flashy, but you spent a lot of time like actually playing. Yeah, Battle for the Grid did good with the animations for the supers. They were kept very short. They were kept very short, so... The time you spent watching was people doing long combos, but the combos were like hard to do, so... I felt like it was a little bit more interactive than Dragon Ball FighterZ. The combos are a lot easier. The stuff you can do in Battle for the Grid is like way more difficult than Dragon Ball FighterZ by like a long shot. Yeah, I hopped off Dragon Ball FighterZ pretty quick. I hopped off that game pretty quick because just the netcode was so bad. I didn't mind the pacing that much. It didn't bother me that much. And they made some efforts to improve the pacing over the years, but the online was just awful. It's just if I tell people the truth, like, hey, Marvel Infinite is better than Dragon Ball FighterZ because the online fucking works. And you guys hate on this game so much. It's a better game. It is. You might not like the graphics. You might not like the roster, and the roster sucks in Marvel Infinite. It does. I'll be the first to admit that because I grew up with those games. They're a big part of why I like combos and stuff. They're a big part of it. But if you look past that, it is a better game than Dragon Ball FighterZ. Simply because the online works. The online does not work in Dragon Ball. So, it's miserable to play unless you're lucky enough to have a local scene, which Not everybody's blessed with that opportunity. Marvel was not Marvel, but Dragon Ball was pretty popular here for a while, for a few months, but then I guess people just got tired of it. It didn't last very long, so I kind of like stopped caring. Just play Battle for the Grid, right? And it fucking works at launch. Actually, no, that game did not work at launch. Battle for the Grid was a hot mess at launch, but it doesn't matter because they fixed it. As far as I'm concerned, they gave their part of the deal. I just find it funny that people won't even give Battle for the Grid a chance when, like, Dragon Ball FighterZ is still a worse product. At launch, I would definitely say Dragon Ball FighterZ was better because it had higher production value and more stuff to do. Battle for the Grid was a mess. You know, they didn't have voice acting. You couldn't block low for like a week. You couldn't block low. I don't know how that happened. That's something that happened on that game. I don't know if people are aware of that. Battle for the Grid at launch, you couldn't block low online. I'm not making this up, by the way. You can probably go look it up. I'm not lying to you. You couldn't block low online. They had no voice acting. But those things got resolved. They improved the roster. The other thing I really liked about Battle for the Grid is they knew how to make adjustments to characters and not just completely gut them. That's what I really appreciated about that game. Because what I don't like about modern fighting games is their idea of adjusting or nerfing a character is just like breaking their kneecaps. They're not fun to play anymore. No one plays them. All that does is it just shifts the meta towards another character. That's literally all it does. Like, nerf them, but like don't make them completely useless. Really, like Doggy Kruger, the Shadow Ranger. He got nerfed like 3 times. He's still good. He's still good. I'd say the worst nerf they did was Geki Violet, the Wolf Ranger. He got nerfed pretty bad. He was still good. He wasn't completely useless, but I think they went a little bit overboard. But then they buffed him again. One of the last patches they did, they buffed him again. He's still good. I really appreciated feeling like spending time on the characters was not wasted. 'Cause that's what I can't stand about modern fighting games. They like to just make your time spent with the characters useless. These games are already such a big time sink. Stay relevant. Even just like playing online on ranked, which is like pretty casual still compared to going to tournaments and playing for money. I like when my time is respected. You want to know why I'm excited for Project L? It's definitely not because I like League of Legends. Because League of Legends is just toxic sludge of a game. It's a terrible game. It's always been a terrible game. It's like working in retail and not getting paid. But I'll tell you why. There was a period of time, one of the reasons why Battle for the Grid died is both the combat designers left. Clockwork left first. Shady K was the only combat designer. And then he left too. And I predicted right. They got poached for Project L, which is why that game plays very similarly. They got poached for Project L. That's why Grid died. But Grid died because they're basically doing the same thing with a more popular IP. Clockwork was combat designer on Battle for the Grid since the start, since the first season. The first version of the game, like 1.0. So before it even came out. I think Shady K got added on later, but they both kind of just mysteriously disappeared. And it was pretty interesting because at the time when they left, the company was doing stupid shit like trying to get into NFTs, and they thought that people thought that, you know, maybe they didn't agree with that. They didn't agree with that, and, you know, they had like a creative difference, and that's why they left. They obviously hated that shit. You know, you don't have to read between the lines to know that they didn't like the direction the company was going, but that's not why they left. They left because I think they got a better offer from Riot, and they're working on that game now. So you can look past the fact that League of Legends is a piece of shit. It's a terrible video game. I think a lot of the community is going to cross over to that inevitably.
気の流れが注意して。ちょっと厳しいかも。援護お願い。
I don't know. I don't think Enway is the. They made like literally one good game, and it's pretty hilarious because what happened with Battle for the Grid was the Street Fighter collab was a huge deal, right? When they added Ryu and Chun to the game, it was a huge deal. But like the same freaking week, they announced that they were doing an NFT game, and that they were doing NFTs for the Olympics. I'm not making this up, by the way. It's just something that happened. I'm like, way to kill any momentum you had. Like you have more marketable characters than Power Rangers in the game. You have like pretty much like the founding father and mother of fighting games in there now. You have them in the game and they're Power Rangers. It's fucking cool. But then you go ahead and announce that you're doing ape coins or whatever like the same week. It's like way to kill any momentum you had. This Battle for the Grid was a very uphill battle. No pun intended. It was a huge uphill battle because it launched in a shit state. They fixed it and they made it into a good game over time, but it was not in a good state at launch. You get the momentum back, you have like more quality of life features needed for a fighting game to actually function. Like you have spectator mode and lobbies and full crossplay and good netcode. It was legit a better product than almost anything else that was available at the time. It still is. But then you announce you're making fucking, I don't know, Bonzi Buddy coins or something the same week, and it drives people away from the game. So I can't blame them for wanting to chase better opportunities. unfortunately, the talent that works at at any company doesn't always is indicative of the intelligence of the people that make the financial decisions that do stuff like that. You can have really talented people working under the useless CEOs who just want to get a third mansion, but the people actually doing the work don't believe in what they're doing. But yeah, I have no ill will towards them at all. It sucks that Grid died the way it did, but they did do one last balance patch. It's still a really fun game to play. But, yeah, they completely torched any momentum that they had going forward. But I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference, because Clockwork and Shady K were going to move over to Riot for Project L anyway, which... I don't care about League of Legends. I'm big into Tokusatsu, so... the other thing about Battle for the Grid I really liked was that they handled the roster so much better than stuff like Dragon Ball FighterZ. I mean, one of the biggest complaints about Dragon Ball FighterZ is that it has, like, 800 versions of Goku and Vegeta. And then they have a couple other cool characters that you wouldn't expect to see, like Yamcha and Nappa and stuff. But then, like, the roster is just kind of lame. You could tell that they're going for what's going to make the most sales first, instead of characters that would actually work well in the constraints of a fighting game. What I really liked about Battle for the Grid is they totally had an option to do that too. I mean, there's like 5 different versions of Tommy they could have put in there. Had 2 versions of Jason. You know, they could have really just went in on the nostalgia fan wank, but they didn't. They had 1 version of Tommy, 1 version of Jason. And technically they had 2 versions of Jason, but that's getting into really nerdy stuff. Like the Gold Ranger in that game is Trey, it's not Jason. But technically they have 2 versions of Jason, but what was cool was that they were willing to put characters in the game that were not going to sell DLC by first glance. Not going to sell it to normies that stopped with like the first 3 seasons. But they're characters that are cool in a fighting game. They had fucking Geki Violet in that game. He's a literal Muay Thai martial artist. I mean, he's perfect for a fighting game, right? He's made for a fighting game. Does the average Power Rangers fan know who he is? No. They didn't watch that season. He's in the game anyway because he fits a fighting game template perfectly. And I really liked that. I really appreciated that. The roster was so much better balanced than a lot of the other licensed fighting games, where they just have like 8 versions of the same character because they're gonna make money instead of you know, what's better for the health of the game, having cool characters to use. Yeah, that's one of the things that goes really unappreciated about Battle for the Grid, was that they didn't really need to conform to how most fighting games work now, where they just add characters that will get hype for trailers and stuff. Like, look, the Wolf Ranger is not a popular character outside of, you know, people that stuck with the series or transitioned to Super Sentai or watch both. He's perfect for a fighting game. He's like the quintessential fighting game character. He's a Muay Thai martial artist. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's the kind of character you should have in a game like that. Another thing about Battle for the Grid that no one knows, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Battle for the Grid, as far as I know, I could be wrong, I think actually I'm partially incorrect. It's partially false because Tekken 7 has a 120 FPS mod, but Battle for the Grid is the only fighting game you can play above 60 FPS. It works. It works like, you know, Call of Duty or Overwatch or like League of Legends, like popular multiplayer games where people can play at different frame rates. I used to play that game at 165 FPS. It was glorious. I really like that too. Somehow they managed to like not have the frame data tied to the frame rate somehow, so you could go above 60 FPS. So yeah, it pretty much works like Overwatch, League of Legends, Call of Duty, or like maybe the PS4 players playing at 60 and the PC players playing at 120, and then this other person's playing at 90. You could do it like that, and it worked. It's like witchcraft. I don't know how they managed that, but somehow. I hope that game will get like a modding scene eventually, but I think probably having the level of crossplay that it does probably makes that harder. It would be cool if they just added more Rangers to the game. I was gonna do like a dream roster video for that game that probably no one would watch because not many people are hardcore Power Rangers Sentai fans like I am. But I dropped the idea when the game lost support. I think they did a really good job with the roster at the end, but there's still a couple more characters I really wanted to see. Would have really liked to see them in the game. Representation wasn't the best, admittedly, but it wasn't all just Mighty Morphin, so I'm willing to give him a pass. Because I was like really invested in the roster for that game because I did watch original shows. I was very invested in the roster. I didn't want it to be like Dragon Ball FighterZ, and they luckily did not do that. They kept it real. It's just funny because the mobile game Legacy Wars does have like 18 different versions of Tommy. The mobile game is exactly what I'm talking about. The mobile game has like a version of Tommy for each finger and toe that you have, but they managed to restrain themselves from doing that in the real fighting game. The roster in the mobile game is like really awesome. They have a lot of really cool characters. Characters like you wanted to be in Grid but never made it, unfortunately. I look at that roster and I just get depressed, man. They have like some of my favorite Rangers in there, and only a couple made the cut. Actually, I think Legacy Wars actually has rollback too. Ironically, I think it actually does have rollback netcode. You got a mobile game with touchscreen controls, forced touchscreen controls that has rollback, and Dragon Ball FighterZ, the AAA fighting game, does not. Let that sink in for a second. The most normie-adjacent fighting game, a Power Rangers mobile game with touch controls, has rollback. It's sad, honestly. It's pretty sad. You guys are letting Power Rangers be a better product than your big AAA Megaton franchises. Power Rangers is nowhere near the popularity of Dragon Ball, obviously, but Battle for the Grid is a better game. Period. Maybe not at launch. Not at launch, no, but they fixed things about as quick as you could for something that had that many issues. Pretty commendable, if you ask me, even if you're not a Power Rangers fan. I am, obviously. I'm a huge Tokusatsu fan. Dragon Ball's just been really mishandled. They announced the rollback way too soon because it's been over a year. They haven't even done a single beta for it. You know, if they had announced it this year, it wouldn't have been as bad, right? It wouldn't have been anywhere near as bad if they had announced it this year. But they announced it at last EVO, so like a year and 2 months ago. They haven't done a single beta. The Samurai Showdown rollback, in comparison, has had like, what, like 3 betas now? 2 or 3 at least? At least 2. I haven't really been following it that much, but... You know, they at least gave a beta, and the first beta was really bad. The rollback barely worked. But it's like, that's the point of the beta. Because that game got killed by the pandemic. The netcode and the pandemic just did a 1-2 combo on that game. So it's like a really neutral heavy game. It's not big on combos and stuff. It's like spacing and neutral and footsies is more important, but you can't do those things in underwater netcode. It's just not possible. Oh wow, that one's actually pretty good. Huh. I'll keep that. Oh, I can't drop it. I would say the same for King of Fighters 15 as well. I admittedly have not played that game that much, maybe like 10 hours or so, but I think they should be commended for the fact that they added rollback at launch. The thing about King of Fighters 15 is the matchmaking was all jacked up for a long time, but they did fix that, and they added crossplay, so... KOF 15 did not launch in the best state either. Really wish this game was not on PS4 so I could just put stuff in the storehouse right away. It's pretty obnoxious how you can't just get rid of stuff. I feel like Marvel Infinite just got a raw deal because the game was so jacked up from having to work with Disney. I played that game way more than Dragon Ball FighterZ. I don't know how much time I put into it because I played on PS4 at launch, but I did play that game quite a bit. Played it a lot. I mean, the online was definitely better. Whether you like the gameplay or not is subjective, of course, but... Marvel Infinite's netcode was immaculate. It was very good. The only reason I stopped playing that game is because everyone else did. I hopped off because everyone else did. I wish that game had mods. They're doing mods for Marvel 3 right now, and it's just kind of sad because they've made some pretty big breakthroughs with Marvel 3. I think just this past week they got custom animations working because previously the modded characters were made all with existing animations in the game. Now the people that made the characters were very talented, so you couldn't really tell unless you had like 3,000 hours in the game or something. But now they can do full custom animations. They've also started porting characters to the game as well. They put Monster Hunter's actual moveset in the game. Ultron is well, not in the game yet, but they're working on it. It's just, why don't you guys mod Marvel Infinite because it has better netcode? To do the tournaments for Marvel 3, they have to pay for a Parsec server. Because the netcode is so bad. I'm like, why don't you guys mod Marvel Infinite? I know you guys don't like it as much, but there's a number of things that are better. It's on Unreal Engine, so the modding capabilities are way better for one. And then also the game already has good netcode, so that's two things that are resolved. No, let's keep modding Marvel 3. I understand the passion, but they just have like so many obstacles to get through. I wish there was a modding community for Marvel Infinite. Just like add the X-Men back in. Maybe balance the game a little better, because the balancing was admittedly not great. I would be all over that. I really liked Marvel Infinite. It's just it got like 9 months of support and then it got dropped, so... Depending on what you play fighting games for, whether it's money or having a large player base, it kind of failed on all sides, unfortunately. But I really like the game. I don't really care what anyone says. I had a lot of fun playing it. It's interesting that that was like the first... That was the first Marvel game that actually had like balance patches and stuff. Actually had like the ability to be patched, like major sweeping changes, but then they didn't do anything with it. They killed it off quick. Project L will have normies playing it. It'll have the normie player base. I think the biggest thing that challenge they're gonna face is how often can they update the game? You know, can they update at a good cadence, a good pace? Or is it gonna, like, go, like, months with nothing? As if it's, like, months with nothing. If it's months with nothing, then they're gonna have an uphill battle. The main thing they have going for them is it's a big IP, so... Well, Multiverse was just kind of a joke game. They're in beta and they have like battle passes and shit. Why do you have a battle pass and all these microtransactions when it's a beta? That's like stupid. Like, oh, the game's coming back, guys. Is it really? Is it really coming back? Is anyone going to care when it comes back? I feel like people are in the right to be negative about fighting games, just because you need a consistent player base to play, unless you have a local scene. You need good netcode too, right? You need a local scene where you need good netcode. There needs to be people playing, and they need to actually maintain the game properly. But a lot of times you don't get all those things. Like, a lot of times you don't get all those things. They're mutually exclusive. You get like a fun game to play like Dragon Ball FighterZ, but complete buns netcode. And like constant updates for a couple years of support. About as much as you should expect for a fighting game. But then the netcode is buns, so it's like not really playable unless you have IRL people. I don't know, people are really weird with fighting games. They obsess over the amount of players, the player counts, like, way too much. They obsess over it way too much. It's not a style of game where you need a lot of people on. It just isn't. It's not. You don't need that many people on. Now, a Battle Royale with 1,200 players is pretty much dead on arrival, right? Because those games need, like, 16, 32, or maybe even, like, 48 players. So, 1,000 players is, like, maybe, like, 24 matches tops that are being played concurrently. That's barely playable. Because the thing about those games is you die quick, and you're supposed to be able to get back into a match, right? That whole angle doesn't work when there's not enough people playing to get you in a match quick enough. But a fighting game is only one-on-one, so... 1,000 players for a fighting game, or 2,000 is more than enough. I wish people would understand that. Player counts being bad or good is completely different depending on what kind of game it is. You know, this game only has, like, 700 people on, because it's a shit PC port. There's no crossplay. I understand that people aren't, like, frothing at the mouth to play this. But it's more than enough. You can get help. You can get help. You can find matches. You can invade people. It works just fine. It doesn't need that many people on. But people like look at fighting game player counts and they just obsess over it so much. It's like, you don't need that many players because it's one-on-one. If Call of Duty Warzone had 2,000 players on, it would be dead. It would die. They would shut that game down quick. Because that's like maybe 20 or so games that can be played simultaneously. So people are going to get really long queue times. In those competitive games, especially. Long queue times are a killer. Those games are pretty much just about surviving as long as you can. That's all they are. If there's not enough people playing to make it so that you can, you know, get back into a match quick, yeah, the game's gonna die. It's not gonna survive. The multiverses is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, they just didn't have... They didn't have the manpower and the structure in their company to, like, keep the content coming. And that's what really killed it. People, they've conditioned people to basically flush an online game when it goes, like, more than a month without an update. More than a month without an update is already really pushing it. People have every right to, like, not wanna stick with a game like that. I totally get it. I've played games that didn't get updated. I mean, an example for me was Peak of Combat. That went, like, almost a year without any updates, so I stopped playing it. It's like, that's not a good thing. If they're actually trying to run a successful business, they have to keep content coming, so that people will still stick around and play it. When that stops happening, people stop playing. I mean, it's just that simple. And generally, when a service game goes without being updated for that long, it generally means that the game is going to shut down. There's been some exceptions. There's been a couple games that have managed to come back from being abandonware like that, just dead games, but very rare for that to happen. If you play service games, the first thing you gotta realize is if they don't update for a long time, then it's probably better to cut your losses. Either stop playing the game or stop spending money on it, or both. Especially stop spending money, but depending on how attached you are to the game, you might want to just, like, not play anymore at all. Peak of Combat went, like almost a year without getting updated, so there was barely anyone playing by the end of 1.0. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to keep playing. There hasn't been a single kilobyte of new content in this game for like 9 months. That's not a good sign. That's not the kind of service game you should be playing. Not even, like, casually, you shouldn't be playing something like that. You gotta wonder, like, how much time you're wasting. Even if you don't spend money on the game, spending money on the game is secondary. It's like you're just wasting your time, because all that shit's gonna get wiped. Yeah, if you get people to play... You get people to play the game and then you don't have a good structure to keep it updated, then it won't last. Because there's just been how many service games have shut down this year? It's all the same thing, right? They go like radio silent, and then the updates either stop completely, or they come at like a much slower, worrying frequency, and then the game shuts down. They're like, oh well, the game shuts down in December, you have 3 more months to play. You can't spend money on the game anymore because we'll get sued if we let you. Fuck off. That's pretty much how it always works. So I would say PSO2 always got complaints about the drip feed content. You know, they would go long periods with just more costumes and stuff. They didn't have like any new gameplay-oriented content. But the fact that they still updated, you know, they would update pretty much every 2 weeks most of the time. Throughout its entire lifespan, they did update, you know, once if not twice a month. Usually it was twice a month. It's like it felt worth playing because you could tell that they weren't giving up on it. And when a service game goes like months with nothing, it's a hard sell for sure. Because it's a telltale sign that a service game is dying. There's been some exceptions, yes, but for the most part, that's generally what happens. If they stop updating for an unhealthy amount of time, yeah, your time's probably better spent elsewhere. I'm looking for a video. Give me a moment. I'm gonna try to work on my build a little bit more, because it's not really dropping much else. Avengers is just funny, because they had a great foundation for a service game, but just complete incompetence. I don't understand what the hell happened with that game. It felt like it wasn't like Marvel Infinite, where they had like Disney really grabbing them by the balls and not letting them do what they wanted. It's just they took forever to update. The endgame content sucked. The gear sucked. When they finally, the raid got delayed in that game by like a full year, I think. I had already stopped playing by that point, but I still followed it for a while. The raid got delayed by like a year, and then when it finally came out, it was so buggy. It was like an hour-long raid that was disproportionately difficult, meaning that you kind of needed to have mic chat to do it. There was like puzzles to solve, and you needed coordination. It crashed. It crashed at the end. It was an hour-long raid, and it crashed. And when it crashed, you got nothing. You couldn't get back into the instance that you were in. It's just gone. I'm like, how did it take you a year to put one raid into the game, and then when you do, it doesn't even work? And you're wondering why the game is dead, like... like, people were really holding out hope for that raid. That was like what the game's life was hinging on it. It didn't even work. Can you imagine if like World of Warcraft or like FF14 hyped up a raid that much and then it just crashed an hour in? It's like something that required a disproportionate amount of coordination. It just crashes. like nope. You weren't playing the game, sorry. We wiped your memory. You weren't playing. Just laughable. It's just... And like, if you're going to make a service game, maybe don't get people that have only done Tomb Raider games. Maybe don't get them to do it. Just a hunch. That might not be a good idea. I was laughing so hard when I saw people doing the raid, and it was basically just like, people like clipping out of bounds. The boss was like, he didn't have a hitbox anymore. It was crashing. I'm like, this is what you were working on for a year? How are you working on this for a year? I've played indie games made by like 2 people that were more playable than that. It didn't crash like an hour in. Other thing that they did with Avengers that was funny was they made a very lofty promise. They said that the cash shop would never have experience boosters, but then when the game started declining and it's very clear that they knew that the end was coming, they put in experience boosters. And then they said the thing that was even worse was that they said, "Oh, we're lowering the experience curve because we don't want people to not know how to play the character when they get to max level." Like, no, that's not why he did it. Come on. That's not why he did it. He did it because you want to sell experience boosters to put the experience back to the way it was. Come on. People are smarter than that, alright? They legit lied. They said that they weren't going to do that, and then they did. Alright, cool. Thanks. Okay, let me put this in. Oops. Maybe after this I'll show some videos of the raid in Avengers and how just pathetic it was. It's just sad. I actually played that game quite a bit, but I saw that the writing was on the wall and I uninstalled it and I never went back. Ended up being a wise thing to do. They had no idea what they were doing with that game. It's like you got like the biggest license in the world, and somehow you fuck it up. You got like the massive license. One of the biggest licenses ever. And you give it to the wrong people that don't know what they're doing. And can't actually run a service game. Yeah, I don't have that piece. Let's see here. What does it give exactly? I don't know if I have a Zhurong piece in here. Oh, I do. I have this one. Okay. Two pieces, Instigator of Evil. How can I do this? Yeah, I can't get it from this. It would have to be a different piece. Oh, I got this one. Huh. Let's see if I can do this actually, because I got my set, right? I can change this around. Got another one in here. I don't have two Zhurongs. I've only got one. I don't think I could do this right now. I think I'm gonna have to do some more farming. I'm not seeing one in here. Yeah, I've only got that one. Well, shit. Maybe I can get an Instigator of Evil from here, maybe? It's Evil Taoist, right? Need to see how this works. Just put whatever on I have that has it. Yeah, I can use this. Yeah. So now I need a piece of Zhurong. Alright, I don't have a Zhurong in here, do I? I do not. I haven't been blessed with one. That's pretty much everything. And one too many to count, yeah. Service games are kind of a meme right now, aren't they? They make so many and like most of them don't survive for long. They get killed off real quick. Maybe I have one in here, Copium. I might have gotten rid of it. Nope, I think it's gonna hinge on getting a 7-star. I don't have enough to do this right now. I think I'm gonna go back to my previous build. I haven't been lucky. You can go do a gacha pull. We'll do that. Maybe I'll go help some other people. It's more interesting than doing the monkey. Could do 2 of these. No, shit luck. 2 failed loot boxes, 2 failed pulls. Damn. Must be a really low rate to get a 7-star. And make sure I got enough inventory to actually go help some people. I'm gonna go back to my previous set. I'll save this one, this 3rd one. Yeah, I'll put this one here. Yeah, let's go help some people. Let's go help some people. We'll help some people. More fun that way. Now, Lightside, I don't know if you're still here, but yeah, they didn't keep the updates coming. They couldn't keep the updates coming, so yeah, people hopped off. I think the only game that's managed to get away from that is Smash. Smash hasn't been updated in like 2 years, right? It's like 2-3 years now. Game hasn't gotten a single patch. People are still playing it because it's so wildly popular. The point people are complaining about the Minecraft guy. Nintendo doesn't care. We're like, sorry. The game's gonna stay like this perpetually, we're done. We're probably crunching on the next one for the next Switch. Sorry. Take it or leave it.
する暇はないようですね。まずは眼前の敵を抑えねば。
I don't know, competitive Smash, people might not agree with me, is a meme just because the netcode is terrible. You have to play it offline. It's already a meme as it is. They're not gonna add rollback to the game, right? Smash is great fun to play, whether you like Smash or not. You can't deny it's a fun game to play, at least casually, but it doesn't work online. It doesn't. No amount of balancing that they do is going to change that. Better luck next time, maybe. Smash is just a disaster online. That's probably why they don't care to update it anymore. I mean, the Smash community, for better or for worse, is used to that, right? They're used to having crap netcode. They're used to having crap netcode. Games basically don't function unless you have people to play with IRL. That's not an excuse, though. The popularity of that game, how many people still play it, and how awful it is online, or they just don't mesh together. It doesn't make sense to me. People have abandoned less popular fighting games for less. I wonder if they're gonna try to make it like Melee, where they actually have the next Smash in the launch window. Or is it gonna be like Ultimate and Brawl, where it was like over a year later? I feel like they're really gonna need to have some kind of draw for the new Switch. It's such a popular console, and they're gonna have to go through what they did with the transition to the SNES to get people to understand that there's an actual need to upgrade, and not just the company wanting more money. Obviously they want more money, but the Switch is in dire need of an upgrade. They're really gonna need to have some megatons within like the first year to get people to upgrade. I think if the launch is anything like the original Switch, where they had barely anything, I don't know how well it's gonna do. I'm sure there's just gonna be hype because there's a new Switch, but I hope that they will prioritize having more stuff to play, because I didn't get a Switch until like a year and some change in, a year and a couple months. And at that point, the library was very manageable. I had like 10 games. I had like 10 games. They didn't have like an insane amount. There wasn't so much shovelware on the marketplace either. No, it's just inundated with shovelware. So much garbage on the eShop. It has like even more shovelware than the Wii did. I thought the Wii was bad.
試作する暇はないようですね。まずは眼前の敵を
Switch takes the cake.
どうか無理をせずお下がりください。基地に踏み入っております。私をここまで追い込むとは大したものです。
Although Sakurai seems to be implying that he doesn't want to make another Smash. He's like burnt out on it because he's been doing it for like over 20 years now. You know they're gonna make one though. They're gonna make another one, they have to. But it's not gonna have him doing it. Like people are like, oh, is this the end of Smash? Hell no, it's not. It's not the end of Smash. No way is it the end of Smash. The end of Smash with him helming it, yes. He's been pretty adamant about being done with it, but they're obviously going to make another one. I think the other issue with making another Smash is that the licensing, they're going to have to start from scratch, I think. I think that's really going to piss off a lot of people. They're going to have to start completely from scratch. So no more 100 character roster or however many characters they have in Smash. I don't even know. That's definitely not happening again. Can guarantee they don't want to negotiate all those rights again. So that's another challenge they're going to face as well. They're going to face as well as how do we meet the expectations that we set for ourselves with having 800 characters in the game? When if we make a new game, we have to renegotiate all over again. And essentially make everything from scratch. I don't think the next Smash is going to be an extension to Ultimate. It's possible that they might just do that, but I think that they want something bigger. Because it's definitely going to be a challenge to get people to upgrade from the current Switch. I pushed the button. BS. Well, hopefully the next Smash will actually be playable online. So they've that community's not had it easy, that's for sure. I'm not even talking about the drama with the top players doing terrible things. I'm not even talking about that. That's obviously a big issue, yes, but I'm talking about how they've never had a single Smash game that has good online. Outside of Melee, the Slippy mod for Melee that gives it online rollback. Other than that, it's been a complete nightmare to play those games if you don't have a local scene. I don't know, it would take a lot for me to get a new Switch. The new Switch. There need to be like some kind of megaton that I would like really resonate with, like a new Muso game or like an exclusive beat 'em up or something. Things that won't happen. Things that have a very low chance of happening. To get me on the Switch. New Switch. I barely use mine anymore. I don't know that counterattack. Apparently they said that there's going to be Denuvo for the new Switch, which is just hilarious. So you want the thing to run worse. You want it to run worse than it already does. That was announced a while back that they want DRM on the new Switch. I'm like, is that really necessary? If it's more powerful, then it'll be harder to emulate. But like, it's not hard to emulate Switch games. Well, it depends. It depends on what kind of game. Tears of the Kingdom is harder, but like the Mario games and stuff, they run completely fine. Like a halfway decent computer. Even the Steam Deck can run some of the games better. You have a higher baseline to even run the games on emulator. I feel that Denuvo is necessary. Ah, damn it! Okay, just do that from the side and I still get hit somehow. Fair. Just can't get anything started in this mode. I need people to help me. There's never anyone on. I got that one person to help, but they're only there for like 20 minutes. Wish they could have stayed longer. I'm trying to get this build going. Games just won't fucking drop anything. I always get killed by bullshit. Wish I could just join a party for this. Just play with friends. If I had any friends that played this. Everything I enjoy, no one plays. Just can't get anywhere in this. Fucking had a hitbox out and his takes priority. Sure. Fucking hit him first. How did he armor through that? He should have been in hit stun. I'm getting annoyed. I might need to take a break from this game. I'm getting frustrated. I'm not having fun. It never gives me a good seed so I can actually make progress. It's always bullshit seeds. It's the annoying bosses like him. Fuck that boss. Can't stand fighting him. All he does is run away and shoot, and he has hyper armor. So he doesn't stagger to anything. He's no fun to fight. Just a complete unfun boss. Feels like Toshimitsu in Nioh 2. Just not fun. Just obviously cheats so much. Come on! Nice armor. Fuck that, man. Way above him and it still hits. Fuck you. God damn it, man. He's off screen. I couldn't see him. Hate that about this game. I wish this game had DMC camera rule where they can't do that. So annoying when they do that. They just fucking hit you from off screen and you can't see it. So cheap. They do that a lot in this game. It's so dumb. I'm just gonna do a red attack from the other side of the screen and you can't see it and you die. It's dumb. If they're not on camera and I'm playing solo, they should fucking work like DMC. It's the whole reason why they have that system, so that you don't get killed by bullshit like that. You can't see. They really expect me to look at the map and look at the dot in the corner? Like, no, they're not on camera. As long as they didn't start an attack, they should not be able to put a hitbox on the screen. Period. That's exactly why they have that in DMC, so that shit like that doesn't happen. Oh man, it's this level. I don't want to help this person. Stupid gimmick boss. help this person. I'm tempted to rage quit. Let's play something else. I'm getting fed up with this game. This level has terrible performance as well. It runs like shit. And it's got a gimmick boss fight. I guess that's why everybody asked for help with this one. It's just like Nioh 2. Lady Osakabe. Yeah, shit boss fight. I always tell people when they're playing that game, like, yeah, don't worry if you don't want to do that boss fight. It's totally understandable. That boss fight basically circumvents almost all of the game mechanics. Like, you're not going to be worse at the game for getting carried through that, right? As far as I'm concerned. You know, eventually you want to learn how to fight the bosses by yourself, yes. But gimmick boss fights, I'm like, yeah, just get carried through it. Now this person's dead anyway. If I can get over there in time. He didn't manage to kill anything. Yeah, there's nothing I can do to try. There you go. No, just don't revive me. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play. I don't want to do this map. It's the one with the big cow thing. It's garbage to fight. Why don't they just, like, not do gimmick bosses? I mean, they have to know that no one likes them by now, right? Both Nioh games have shit gimmick bosses. Alright, why is this running like garbage now? It's gonna work now? Jesus fucking game! Fix your ports! It's like just a laughing stock at this point. Fix your game! Please don't give me the same person. Oh my god, it's the same person! Give me somebody else! Not doing this gimmick boss fight. Is there no one else on? I wish I could choose which one I went into instead of it being random. I don't want to help this person. Game fucking lags on here because it's so poorly optimized. Okay, you just didn't kill anything? Like, what's the deal here? Can I get somebody else? Oh my god, it's so laggy. How do I leave? I hate this map. Give me somebody else to help. Instead of this person. I don't want to help them, I'm sorry. Lagging like crazy. Can I leave? I don't want to help them. This map is just a lag fest. It runs like shit. There's no one else on. Not one other person that I can join with besides this person. No one else. Just gives me this person over and over. Ah, fuck this. The game can't even maintain a stable frame rate. On a 3070 and an i9 12900K at only 60 FPS, it doesn't work. He posted a fucking apology. Like, oh, we're gonna fix the PC port. When? Do it already. It's been months. Why haven't you done it already? It doesn't work. Fix the fucking game. It's like, oh, we're sorry, we're gonna fix it later. Stop doing that. Just fix it now. The game doesn't work. Just fix it. I don't want an apology. Actually do it. I wonder why this game is at mostly negatives, because the port is terrible. Ironically, it's mostly just hardcore Neo players that don't like the gameplay. The reviews have, like, almost nothing to do with the gameplay. The reviews give you the impression that this game is a masterpiece, like 15 out of 10. You know, gonna win everything in the Game Awards. Because they don't talk about the game. It's because the port is bad. Maybe you should fix that first. I'm glad that they should be commended for fixing the gameplay, but, like, clearly that's not the issue. Make it so you don't need a quantum-powered computer to run the game, and maybe it wouldn't have so many bad reviews. Just a hunch. Maybe. Like, oh, we promised to fix it later. We're deeply sorry. I don't care, man. I paid for a game that doesn't work. Fix it. Gotta love how you can buy a $70 video game and it literally doesn't work. More than the recommended specs for over 6 months. And the best they can do is say, oh, we're sorry, maybe we'll fix it later. Cool. Thank you. How thoughtful. He didn't fix the last game, which had these exact same problems. He never fixed that one. Why should I believe this one's gonna get fixed? I'd be delusional to expect them to actually fix this. I really don't think they will. I think it's Arkham Knight all over again. We don't know how to fix it, sorry. We're completely complacent, just having this game that's still got a season pass that's not finished yet be unplayable. It's just so counterproductive when you think about it. You're selling a season pass. Maybe you should fix the game. Just a hunch. I really hope there's a Worst PC Port of the Year award. I really think it's a tie between this and Jedi Survivor. I'm hearing the Lords of the Fallen might be might win the Bronze Crown, the Bronze Trophy. Lords of the Fallen, the game that comes out today. I'm hearing that game is also meme-worthy PC port quality. I guess we'll see. The public's gonna have access to it in a few hours. They're gonna be the next meme PC port. Keep the combo going.
より手強いわ。
Nice. He got anti-aired by damage over time.
これでこのタイムに
Tried his
平穏
best.
が戻ることでしょう。 商法を倒したはずなのに気の流れが乱れているわ。嫌な予感がする。
Actually, I think this port is worse than Jedi Survivor. That's because they at least did some patches for Jedi Survivor. It wasn't enough, but they did do something with it, right? This is pretty much in the same state it was before when I stopped playing. The gameplay is a lot better. The game is a lot better. The port has had like no work done on it at all. Yeah, I think I'd argue Jedi Survivor is as bad as this. Contest. Pissing contest. Nice. Yeah, they're already working on the next Star Wars Jedi game. They're already working on it. It's like, shouldn't you fix the one that's out already? Like, the one that people can't play? Because they have like a NASA level computer? Shouldn't you fix that one first? Or you start working on a new one? Porting it to PS4? That's gonna be fun to watch. That game is on PS4. That's comedy in the making right there, and they put that game on last-gen consoles. Barely runs on, like, the best hardware. It's interesting that they don't even address ports on old hardware the same as they used to. They used to make completely different games. They used to make like completely different games. Like, I think the last time they really did that was like Sonic Unleashed and The Force Unleashed. Those games, like the standard definition versions, they're all like completely different games. But they don't do that anymore. Like, yeah, we're gonna port this game that barely runs on like $3,000 hardware. We're just gonna port it as is to the old console for some reason. Even though it's just gonna make us look even worse. I can't even begin to understand it. It was common practice to not do that. You would make a completely different game and be like stripped down. Definitely had my fair share of stripped down arcade ports growing up. I mean, they basically had to make the game again. They had to completely, like, strip down the graphics and everything. Now it's like, no, here's a Switch port of Cyberpunk. I mean, it's the exact same assets, just at 240p and like 3 FPS. And the battery life lasts an hour. Here, pay us $70 for that. Like, why don't you make like a a spin-off or something, you know, like a side game, a Gaiden. Why don't you just do that instead? It's more work, but at least you're like working around the actual limitations of the hardware instead of trying to make it run things it has no business
気の流れが乱れてい
doing.
るわ
Like,
嫌な予感がする
I hope that Jedi Survivor PS4 port is true, because that's going to be really funny. Who remembers the
やったわね
the Marvel fighting game PS1 ports? How stripped down they were. Like they got rid of the tagging, and like it felt like a huge chunk of the animation frames were cut as well, so the game looked choppy. It wasn't really a port. It was kind of more like this weird patchwork version of the game that it kind of was an arcade port, but not really. It's interesting that they stopped even trying to do that. I think it was a better solution than trying to put the whole game on there and the hardware can't run it, so all anyone talks about is how it's not the same thing.
気の流れが乱れているわ
That's why the Dreamcast was so crazy, because they actually had arcade perfect ports.
Huh?
思っていたより手強いわごめんなさい私はもう これ以上は下がるね
What the hell? I can't even get mad anymore. I'm just, I'm not playing very well. I haven't spent that much time on this difficulty.
任せて
Mostly just been fighting the same enemy over and over. I've got to learn the rest of the game. It's not the game's fault.
ちょっと厳しいかも援護お願い大きな気の流れが注意してお願い手を貸して こ
Well, not much luck today. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. Pretty shit luck today. Really, didn't really make much progress today, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I also played a lot of Orochi today as well. I wasn't on this game as much as the past couple days. Yeah, pretty much hit a standstill today. Well, I did get these. It's like the one thing, but it's the wrong grace. If this was the right grace, I would have a lot more freedom with my build, but the game doesn't want to put out. It sucks. You go ahead and favorite those pieces that I had, though, just so I don't make the mistake of doing that again. It's probably already had a piece in here somewhere. I don't care enough to check my VOD, but high likelihood that I did. I don't have 7 stars of them anyway, so it's like, it's whatever. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think once I finish this build, probably be able to progress faster. But I also just need to play better as well. It's not just the gear. It's me not being very good at the game and not learning as fast as I normally do when I play games. So that the gear will help make it less frustrating. So I'm cool with that, even if it's not gonna like win the game for me. I don't really want it to in the first place. They seem to not be wanting their action RPGs to be like Nioh 1. Nioh 1, you could completely ignore the combat. You could just one-shot stuff. Nioh 1, it's kind of why that game has its, I think the second game is better in every way, but that game has its loyal fans just because it's a lot more like an actual ARPG in that you just break it. You can just completely disregard the good gameplay and just break the game. I can kind of get it, but I think Nioh 1 was just terribly balanced. I didn't really like sticking with it for that long. I got a good, like, 60 hours out of it or whatever. I'm like, this game just is not balanced very well.
仕事しすぎも考え
I definitely wasn't very good at it, but kinda... I don't know how much that really matters. With Neo 2, they greatly nerfed how strong that you could get, so that you couldn't one-shot stuff and do like 3 million damage. They got rid of the ability to do that. Need to actually have to play the game. You can definitely get pretty OP, but you can't like break the game at its core anymore. They put a stop to that real quick. Should go back and watch Neo 1 videos. They're pretty funny in retrospect. Just like, yeah, just one-shot this boss that's supposed to be like this big fight. This big, like, difficult fight. Like, no, just one-shot him. He ain't shit. Just one-shot him. He's done. I don't know, it's the first time anyone really tried to make a action RPG with actual combat instead of just, like, pushing a button and killing, like, 800 enemies. They're actually really trying to, do something different with the formula, but it came at a cost. It's really hard for them to balance it. Favorites in here. See if I can maybe get this build going. Maybe I have a piece in here. I'm kind of a little tired. I'm not really thinking too clearly, but I might have a piece in here. Let's go by rarity. It's probably going to be at the bottom. If I do, it would be a 5-star. Oh, there's this one right here. Okay. So take that. Got a set bonus mitigation. Yeah, I need 2 pieces. So maybe we can make this work. Put this one on. And then... is that enough? Let me see. Yeah, I need one more piece. Oh, maybe I can use this. I can use this. Oh, no, I'm missing one piece there. Fuck. This sucks, man. It ain't giving me the shit I need. Yeah, I don't have a Zhurong. I don't have a Zhurong in here. I'd be nerfing myself quite a bit if I used a 5-star at this point. I don't know how relevant that is. I need a set bonus mitigation somewhere. Do I have another Zhurong in here? Please tell me I do. No, I've only got the one. Yeah, I think the key is just the game fucking dropping what I need. I think that's really the key at this point. I don't think I can do this with what I currently have. Yeah, I need one more piece of this now. Yeah, this is the limiting factor right here, is that it's not giving me a, it's not giving me a Cestus with the right piece on it. That's like the main thing that's preventing me from doing this. Let me see here. I might have another one in here. You can't sort in this game properly, so you gotta go through it one by one and test your eyesight. If I put this on and I get 4 of this, no. I'm gonna have to get a pair of cestises with the right grace on it. There's no avoiding it. If I want to play the way I am, I have to do it. So, pray to the RNG. I thought maybe I had enough stuff to do it, but it's very clear that I do not. We're gonna go back to the other set. Yeah, this one. Alright. So I think I'm back to where I was, right? Yeah. You put drop priority equipped weapon. Let me go ahead and change that really quick. Actually, what am I on right now? Let me... Oops. Yeah, I do not have drop priority equipped weapon. That will definitely help. Yeah, let's go. Let's go rectify that real quick. Maybe give it another couple kills here. I'm gonna give up for tonight. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this off temporarily and put equipped weapon on, so I have a higher chance of actually getting it. Yeah, there we go. And take this one off and put morale bonus on, because I definitely do need that. I don't have a 6-star of this either. Pretty sure I didn't throw away any Zhu Rong, because I know it's like one of the best graces right now. Yeah, I don't have that either. Yeah, so I should put equipped armor on this too. These are both 6 stars. Let's go ahead and do that. Get rid of this temporarily. Get it back later. Alright, so that's just how it's gonna have to be for now. Grin and bear it. Let's see if anyone else wants some help, because that's more interesting than just doing the crypto mining loot goblin. I do not have the materials in my inventory to really do what I want to do. So the only thing to do is go kill stuff. If anyone's on. That's right, you can't drop stuff as a helper, huh? Yeah, you can't use the pandas. I was gonna say, that would be nice. Could re-roll. I might have to resort to doing that, actually, to get this done. Alright, are we gonna play? This is actually a really hard platform to jump on. It's kind of janky. Yeah, you kind of gotta not have too much directional influence, otherwise your guy falls off. I think we could just skip the flag. Let's just go. Yeah, we're having a hard time here. It's like my gameplay tonight. My gameplay tonight has not been very good. Alright, we going now. Are we doing stuff? Are we doing stuff? Okay, I think we're doing stuff now. These load times are perfect. There's nothing wrong here at all. We're not gonna skip the cutscene, really? Come on. Watch it later. We're trying to help you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank the stars. Thank you. Yeah. You're not gonna have a satisfying payoff. He got shredded. I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna have the payoff of doing it yourself. You're asking for help. You might want to skip the cutscenes, because gonna be this big hype boss fight that you might be stuck on for 3 hours, but the people in the party just shred him down before he can even move. Not gonna be too satisfying. Let's, I think we'll try that a couple more times. I'm probably gonna call it a stream. I already did like 3.5 hours today. Everybody's using that build. They do that big like spin sword move, and the boss health bar just disappears. I'm trying to see. That's kind of. I think I'm trying to run the same build. Actually, I'm not quite sure. It probably won't work as well because it's not. Not using the sword.
調子に乗りやがって やめてまだまだ 慢心したか 生意気な
I hate fighting this guy. Fucking hyper armor. Why does a human boss have hyper armor? Guy's not doing any damage. They don't do any damage. Boss is fucking stupid. Let's just make him spam projectiles and attack super fast. And then to make things worse, he has hyper armor. So most of your options don't work because you're animation locked. And you get staggered and he doesn't. Why the fuck do they have hyper armor? Lamest way to make a boss difficult in a game like this is just make it so they don't stagger or anything. It's whack. The human bosses are already, like, way harder than the big bosses as it is. Just because they have playable character movesets. Now, let's just give them hyper armor too. That's not enough. You need permanent hyper armor, so everything you do to them, they just walk through. Fair. At least Gan Ning does that a lot less, but he's definitely a problem as well, because he's just in hyper armor all the time. I don't know how to make fair bosses anymore.
このままじゃ大きな気の流れが注意して
If you're gonna have, just keep making these hyper armor human bosses, then give me animation canceling. One or the other, not both. Like, you're just gonna make it so they walk through every attack I do, then give me animation canceling, because I don't have armor.
大きな気の流れが注意して思っていたより手強いわお願い手を貸して
I wish this game had mods. I wish you could just add, like, animation canceling. I'd probably like it a lot more if you could do that, but these kinds of games don't get extensive mods, unfortunately. Neo 2's got some good stuff going on with expanded moveset mod, and then there's also the randomizer, but other than that, there's not much. You definitely crave more, but you don't get it. Well, I imagine if this game's port was actually good like Neo 2, then maybe there would be people modding it, but they refuse to sell a functional product, so I think it's a no-brainer that there's no one making mods. Need a NASA-powered computer that could, like, launch shuttles and shit, then obviously there's not going to be many people making mods. Neo 2, on the other hand, is, like, really well optimized. I fucked that one up, didn't I? I don't know. I don't know that attack. Deer in headlights. It's one of the wanted the least out of everybody. I'll give this one more shot at getting a run going in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. I'm playing even worse than before. I think if I can get this build going, I'll probably have a lot more fun, but right now I'm not playing very well. I'm not very good at the game, and then also I'm not getting the drops I need to do what I want, so kind of like I can fix the skill in time. The skill will come with time if I stick with the game, but the drops is completely out of my control. They don't give you a lot of ways to mitigate RNG in this game. Ah, fucking old man. Hate those damn wizards. Shooting stuff at you from off screen is so engaging. Everybody loves that. Some coward running away. Just can't get a run started in this, man. I'm so bad at the game. God. It just keeps giving me the most obnoxious enemies. It never lets me get started. I always get just enemies I don't know or I don't like. That's all it gives me. Starting to piss me off. It's like there's no other place to farm. There's no one ever helping. I really was really excited for this mode, but I don't know. I'm just not good enough at the game. I might need to like take a break from this and play something I'm actually good at. This load times are so fucking long as well. It takes it like a minute to load one room. Fucking PS2 games that loaded faster than this does. Gotta have a lot of patience to play this game. It's definitely a lot better than it was, but it still angers me sometimes. It's gonna be the last attempt. I'm gonna go to bed after this. I'm already terrible at this game, and playing while I'm tired is not helping, obviously. Making it harder on myself. I hate the stupid worm, man. I hate that fucking thing. It moves its body slightly. You can't tell what it's doing. Wish they would not make mini-bosses that don't have limbs. When the only fucking thing you can do is parry. It really throws me off. They like move, but then they like don't have a hitbox. It's really annoying. I hate that enemy. I wish they would remove it. It doesn't stagger or anything either. Of course not. Why would a fast, annoying enemy have hit stun? I mean, what sense does that make? Make an annoying enemy you don't like fighting and then make it not stagger to anything. Just walk through everything. Face tank. Yeah, let me do that to everybody. I'm done with this game for tonight. I'll see you guys later. I'm getting really annoyed. I need to find something else to play. I don't know, man. This game's just humbling me. I really don't like how you can't animation cancel. Feels like any time I try to do something besides stand there and parry, I get punished for it. Which is my fault. It's not the game's fault that I have that problem, but I get really annoyed. Every fucking time I push a button, they just decide to hyper armor attack out of it, and then I just die. I'm definitely gonna have to adapt. It's not really the game's fault, but yeah, I'm done for tonight. I might give it another shot when I'm more well rested. Thanks for watching, everybody. I might play some Orochi or something later, and I might just need to alternate between games. If I start to get frustrated, I have to have like something else to play. Maybe it's time to start another game on the side, because I've been playing this game pretty hardcore, but I'm like actually really bad at it. I'm nowhere near as good at it as Neo, which is funny because Neo's like way harder. But I'm definitely getting humbled pretty hard, so maybe I might pick another game to start. I'll see what I feel like. I'll catch you guys.